The devil is real. Father Carlos Martins knows this to be true. He has looked pure evil in the eye. For 20 years he has waged war against demonic forces, becoming a seasoned exorcist within the Catholic Church. His battleground is not a spooky old house or a graveyard. It is the human soul. Father Martins travels the world, answering desperate calls for help. He encounters the possessed, the tormented, those caught in the devil's snare. Each case is a chilling testament to the very real existence of evil in our world. Over the years, Father Martins has witnessed things that would shake even the most hardened skeptic. These are just a few of his stories. One case, in particular, stands out for its sheer brutality. It involved a woman seemingly ordinary who became a vessel for terrifying power. During the exorcism, she exhibited superhuman strength. This was not just adrenaline or a sudden burst of energy. This was something far more sinister. She threw a man weighing over 300 pounds across the room as if he were a rag doll. The room seemed to crackle with unseen energy. Objects moved on their own, defying the laws of physics. A screw came loose from a light switch 12 feet away. It shot across the room at an impossible speed, stopping in front of the woman. With a chilling deliberateness, she drove the screw into her own arm. The witnesses gasped in horror, but the woman seemed unfazed, her eyes vacant, her body a mere puppet for the entity within. Father Martins himself was not immune to the entity's rage. It lashed out with a ferocity that belied the woman's frail frame. Father Martins suffered a severe injury during the exorcism, one that required multiple surgeries to repair his skull. The experience left him with a permanent reminder of the very real dangers of confronting evil. The violence of that day was unforgettable. It was a stark reminder that the devil's goal is to destroy. He will use any means necessary to achieve his aims, even turning the body against itself. Not all possessions are as physically violent. Some are insidious, slowly twisting the mind and soul. Jeremy, a firefighter, had a secret, one buried deep in his past. He had always dreamed of being a firefighter, and at the age of 8, that dream took a dark turn. He dabbled with a Ouija board, a portal to the other side he didn't understand. There he made a deal. He would get his dream job, but in return, a demon, taking the form of a grotesque cat-headed figure, would claim a piece of his soul. Years later, Jeremy was living his dream, but it had become a nightmare. He suffered blackouts, unexplained injuries, and terrifying visions. The cat-headed figure haunted his every waking moment, a constant reminder of the pact he made as a child. Desperation led him to Father Martins. Through a series of intense and emotionally draining exorcisms, Jeremy confronted the demon. He renounced the pact, severing the ties that bound him to the entity. It was a grueling battle for his soul, but in the end, Jeremy emerged victorious, free from the grips of the demon that had haunted him for so long. Jeremy's case is a chilling reminder that the devil is a master manipulator. He preys on our desires, offering us what we crave most in exchange for our very essence. Sometimes the demonic attaches itself not to a person but to an object, a conduit for its malevolence. In a small town, a woman inherited her late uncle's house. The house had stood empty for years, ravaged by a fire that claimed her uncle's life. It was a place of sorrow, shrouded in unsettling energy. Soon after moving in, the woman began to experience strange phenomena. One object in particular became a source of terror, an antique music box. The box, salvaged from the fire, was charred and blackened, its once beautiful finish now a memory. But what disturbed the woman most was the music. It would start on its own, a haunting melody echoing through the silent house. Driven by fear, the woman took the music box to an expert. What he found sent chills down his spine. The box was utterly empty. There was no winding key, no mechanism, no explanation for the eerie tunes that poured from it. Desperate, the woman turned to Father Martins. He blessed the house and the music box with holy water, praying for the entity to be banished. The music ceased. The house fell silent. But the memory of the music box that played on its own lingered, a chilling reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places. These cases are just a glimpse into the dark world that Father Martins navigates. They are chilling reminders that the supernatural is real, and sometimes it is terrifyingly close to home. Section 5. The desperate craving for life energy. The devil, Father Martins knows, is a cunning adversary. He exploits our weaknesses, our vulnerabilities, our deepest fears and desires. Cheryl, a woman desperate to have a child, became a target for this very reason. Unable to conceive, Cheryl became fixated on the idea of life energy. She believed that she could somehow absorb this energy from other beings, that it would increase her chances of getting pregnant. Her obsession took a dark turn. She began collecting dead insects, drawn to their lifeless forms. She would whisper to them, convinced that she could harness their remaining life force. Her behavior became increasingly erratic. She began hoarding dead animals, her home a macabre testament to her twisted maternal longing. She would speak in a deep, guttural voice, claiming to be possessed by the spirits of the dead creatures. Her terrified family reached out to Father Martins. He recognized the signs of demonic influence immediately. Cheryl wasn't crazy, she was possessed. The entity, feeding off her desperation, had twisted her longing for a child into a grotesque obsession with death. It took 8 grueling exorcism sessions, but Father Martins ultimately prevailed. The entity was banished, and Cheryl was freed from its grasp. Cheryl's story is a tragic reminder that the devil exploits our deepest desires, twisting them into something dark and destructive. He preys on the vulnerable, offering false hope and empty promises. Section 6. When science struggles to explain. The chilling accounts of Father Martins' exorcisms challenge our understanding of the world. They force us to confront the possibility of a reality beyond our scientific comprehension. While skeptics propose alternative explanations, attributing these experiences to mental illness, hallucinations, or even elaborate hoaxes, there are instances where these explanations fall short. Dr. Amin Muhammad Gadit, a renowned psychiatrist, suggests that what appears as demonic possession could be rooted in psychological disorders. He points to conditions like dissociative identity disorder, schizophrenia, and epilepsy as potential culprits. He argues that these illnesses can manifest in ways that mimic the symptoms of possession, leading to misinterpretations and fueling supernatural beliefs. Other researchers explore the role of biochemical factors, suggesting that imbalances in brain chemistry or abnormal brainstem function might contribute to the unusual behaviors associated with possession. They point to studies that show links between certain neurotransmitters and altered states of consciousness, hinting at a possible biological basis for these experiences. However, Father Martins remains steadfast in his conviction. He acknowledges the importance of scientific inquiry, but argues that there are forces at play that defy conventional explanation. He believes that science, while essential for understanding the natural world, may not be equipped to fully grasp the complexities of the spiritual realm. Section 7. Opening the doors to darkness. Father Martins believes that demons gain access to our world through doors, invitations extended consciously or unconsciously. These doors, he explains, are often opened through our own actions and choices. They can be as simple as dabbling in the occult, using Ouija boards, or engaging in satanic rituals, but he warns the doors can also be more insidious. They can be opened through deep emotional wounds, unresolved trauma, or habitual sin. These negative emotions and experiences create vulnerabilities, cracks in our spiritual armor that demons can exploit. They prey on our weaknesses, whispering temptations, fueling our anger and magnifying our fears. The more we indulge in these negative emotions and behaviors, the wider the door swings open, allowing the demonic to gain a foothold in our lives. Father Martins emphasizes that demons are masters of manipulation, skilled at disguising their presence and subtly influencing our thoughts and actions. He urges us to be vigilant, to guard our hearts and minds against the subtle influences of evil. He stresses the importance of prayer, sacraments, and a strong moral compass as essential weapons in the fight against demonic influence. By strengthening our spiritual defenses, we make ourselves less susceptible to the devil's wiles. Section 8. The Truth in Fiction. While Hollywood often sensationalizes the demonic, Father Martins finds an unsettling accuracy in the classic film. The film's depiction of the possession process, the physical and psychological torment, and the desperate struggle for the possessed person's soul, he believes, rings true to the reality he has witnessed. He cautions, however, that the film's portrayal of the exorcism ritual itself is somewhat exaggerated. The dramatic special effects, particularly the infamous 360-degree head rotation, while intended to heighten the horror, are not representative of actual exorcisms. Despite these embellishments, Father Martins acknowledges the film's power to educate the public about the reality of demonic possession. He believes that serves as a stark reminder of the battle between good and evil that rages within our world, often unseen and unacknowledged. He emphasizes, however, that the film should not be taken as a documentary. It is a fictionalized account, albeit one rooted in disturbing truths. He encourages those seeking a deeper understanding of exorcism and demonic possession to consult reliable sources within the church, such as his own book. Section 9. A continuing battle. Father Carlos Martins' life is a testament to the enduring battle against evil. His stories serve as chilling reminders that the demonic is not a relic of the past, a figment of imagination, or a product of mental illness. It is a present and very real threat. He continues to travel the world, armed with his faith and his knowledge of ancient rites, confronting the darkness wherever he finds it. He understands that the fight against evil is a marathon, not a sprint. It is a battle waged one soul at a time, a constant struggle against the forces that seek to drag humanity into the abyss. His message is one of both warning and hope. He warns us to be vigilant, to guard against the subtle seductions of evil, and to recognize the vulnerabilities within ourselves that make us susceptible to demonic influence. Yet, he also offers hope, reminding us that we are not alone in this fight. We have the power of faith, the strength of prayer, and the unwavering support of God and His angels on our side. As long as we remain steadfast in our faith, committed to our spiritual growth, and dedicated to resisting the allure of darkness, we can overcome any challenge, even those that seem insurmountable. The battle against evil is real, but so is the promise of victory.